You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV live from the Kari Feinstein Style Lounge for the 2012 MTV Movie Awards at the W Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's So You Think You Can Dance After Show.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm your host, AJ Gibson. We're here live, like you just heard, from the Kari Feinstein Style Lounge at the 2012 Movie Awards. It was a big deal for us.
MTV Movie Awards.
Yeah,
we're so exciting.
We're doing our thing. We're covering So You Think You Can Dance, Season 9, Episode 2. But first, I'm going to let my lovely, lovely co-hosts introduce themselves.
Tamara Berg, I'm here and having some fun. Second time in the Kari Feinstein Style Lounge. Last year I was here too.
Nice.
Well, this is my
She's a
first
veteran.
time. Yeah.
We're all rookies.
I'm a rookie, yeah. And I'm Kyra Batte. And I am Caitlin O'Connor, and I'm a super rookie because this is my first show on AfterBuzz TV.
Oh my gosh,
Ever?
that's exciting! Yay!
Well, lucky you.
But don't be nervous. You all look stunning.
Oh,
Not that you
as
don't
do
always.
you.
Not that you
As
don't
do
always, but today is exceptional.
Thank you.
No, we've got an exciting week. We've got we're at So You Think You Can Dance, like I said, Season 9, Episode 2. We're still in Los Angeles, I believe, correct?
Yeah, and in auditions.
Yeah, and we have special guest judge Jesse Tyler Ferguson from Modern Family.
Whom I love
Yeah.
and adore. Now,
Yes.
everybody probably knows him from Modern Family. Did anybody see him in the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee on Broadway?
No.
I read about it, but I did it. Yeah.
He was
Yeah?
fantastic. Yeah, I saw him on Broadway, and he's just incredibly endearing, incredibly charming.
Yeah, he
And
really is.
And you know, one of the things that I love about him being, sorry, my cord just like bit me.
Watch out.
One of the things I love about him as being a judge is that he, as we do at AfterBuzz, presents sort of the fan perspective. And so I really like that about him. He doesn't have a lot of dance experience or that sort of thing, but he can relate to just, you know, the beauty and the expression, and I think he's a fantastic judge.
And I didn't know that about him. I was actually watching the episode with a friend, and he was like, "Why is he judging?" And I didn't understand at first. But then I got on Bing. Bing.com. Bing is for doing. So that's what I did. I got on Bing, and I actually looked him up, and I saw his background. And he studied at AMDA, New York City. He's actually done, like you said, Putnam County Spelling Bee. He's done a lot of Broadway, and he's always been involved with the arts. So it just makes sense. You know, he's been on stage. He knows what these kids are going through, and I thought he was a great, great judge.
Me too.
He said some really hilarious
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I was just dying over. He's just so good.
Which
He's
we
so
will
good.
cover, and
Yeah,
we'll get to that in a moment. But
sure.
we're going to start off. We're going to start off with the first performance of the night, Alexa Anderson.
Alexa.
Yeah, what do we think?
So she was on last season and missed being the top 20 by 1. She was 21st.
Heartbreaking.
And so it was really, really sad.
Yeah.
But, you know, ultimately going to Vegas this time, so that's pretty
Yeah, going to
exciting.
Vegas.
I
She's
thought
one
she
of my
was fantastic. Was she?
Yes, one of my favorites.
Yeah?
I think she's absolutely one of the best dancers that I've seen.
Wow. I thought she was a really strong dancer, too.
I always love stories like that, too. I love when people don't give up on their dreams.
Yes.
Was it? I think it was American Idol. Was it Jordan Sparks, who was a few seasons back? She turned down and came back and won it the next season. It just happened on X Factor this past season. Melanie Amaro was actually sent home in the early rounds, came back and won the show.
Wow.
So there's really something to be said about those types of people who
Perseverance.
can. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and what I loved that Alexa said was they were like, "Did you ever think about coming back?" And she goes, "It was never an option not to come back. I was always going to keep trying." I loved that story.
And that's the mindset that really successful people have. If it's failure is not an option, you're always going to be successful.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
So
so
best
cool.
of luck to her this
I know.
season.
I'm really happy for her. We're going to keep an eye on her.
Yeah.
Then we move on to Johnny Wax Gibson.
Oh,
Johnny
boy.
Wax.
No relation. No relation.
Yeah,
Same
I was
last
gonna
name.
ask.
No, right. I don't have any. Yeah.
He was sort of the first personality contestant of this week's episode, and he did whacking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Super cute guy, right? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No, you did last season, right? You covered.
Yeah,
so you
yeah, I
could-
did the whole- yeah, I did the
Whacking
episode.
came along last season, correct?
I don't know.
I-
I don't remember
I
it
was
making
reading-
much of an impact last
Okay, well, I was
season,
reading
honestly.
that there was a contestant last year who did this style of dance. It's very quick. It's very precise.
Right, where they basically punctuate every single
Yeah.
tone, note, beat of a piece. And so it takes an incredible amount of focus and knowledge about music and about the piece that you're working with,
Wow.
right?
It sounds a little bit OCD-ish to me. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, I don't have that sort of rhythm or that. I'm not that quick. So I don't know if that's really my style.
Really
Super
precise,
interesting to watch.
Yeah.
But I was laughing through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And
Were you?
A little bit, yeah. And
Yeah.
I liked the whacking part. I didn't know the style of dance was called that, but
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah, it is. Well, and I loved Jesse's comment. He said, if Lenny Kravitz were a Russian nesting doll, he would be you. And I loved that comment. I
Genius.
just thought it was perfect.
Like,
It was
where does
perfect.
that come from? Who comes up with those lines?
I know.
Like, I think I'm witty every now and then.
No,
but
not
I
like
usually
You
that.
are witty.
Well,
no, you
no,
are.
I'm not really that witty. I just steal lines from like films and stuff.
stop it.
Yeah, like one-liners. But I could never come up with that on my own. That's fun.
But he was adorable. I thought he was really cute. He was very endearing. And my thought, of course, was, but can he do other kinds of dance? Because that's obviously part of the challenge here.
And I missed. I think he went on to choreography.
He did?
Then I missed.
And then he got
He
cut.
did get cut.
He got cut in
See, I don't know,
choreography.
it's
Yeah.
like, you gotta really pay attention to those little moments. Like I always miss that
Yeah.
choreography. Then I'm like, oh great, and I just assume they're on the show.
Yeah,
And
no.
they're gone before I notice it. Now I'm
were-
gonna start crying.
Yeah, there were a bunch of people who got cut in choreography
Yeah.
this week. So,
Choreography's tough.
yeah.
Especially for these like street performers and these
Exactly.
obscure styles.
who've had no formal training
Exactly.
and no,
Yeah. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Maybe next season.
That's okay. Maybe
Go take
next season.
go take a jazz
Go
class or
take
something.
some ballroom. Yeah, exactly.
And then we move on to, oh, this is a heartbreaker. Marcia Kidd. Marcia? Kidd? She was in a car accident?
What? No, that doesn't come till
Oh,
way
she's
later.
not next?
That's like the last one.
How do they write her
Marche.
down? Oh, how do they write that down there?
Very last. Very last.
I think I'm so emotionally
Marche
like
and
distraught
Jasmine.
by her story, or by their story, his and her story. I just wrote it down in the wrong order.
You did. Don't.
okay.
We'll come
I
back to
watched
them
this
because
episode
they
a
saved the
couple of
best for
times.
last.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
look,
we should
I'm
save
gonna
them
put
for
a big
last.
circle around that and a sad face
we
because
will
I just
come
messed
back.
that up badly.
They're
No.
last.
Oh, then well, Eliana.
Yeah,
correct?
Eliana was next,
Gerard.
yeah.
Yes, fantastic. We're back on track. She's very classically trained. She went to
Amazing.
Joffrey, Alvin Ailey, and if you know anything about dance, I mean, that's legit.
Right. And so she's also an aerialist. She was
Yeah.
in Cirque du Soleil.
Mhm, the
right?
Elvis show.
Yeah, the Elvis. I thought
Yeah.
that was so cool.
And a pole dancer.
Which-
Which
Oh.
was fascinating.
Yeah.
Sexy.
It was. It
pole
was
dancing's
really.
really an art. Like, I'm not kidding.
No,
If
no,
you
no.
do
I
it
mean,
right,
that's what
it's
she
great.
talked about.
Yeah.
You know, she talked about how it took an incredible amount of skill, and and she loved it because it was so. She didn't say this, but it was kind of like, you know, you're dancing in a different direction. You know, it's sort of a different connection for her, and she really got that, and I
Yeah.
loved that about her. I thought she was really a fascinating gal.
I also love how she explained, because I thought it was really sexy, and you all, I'm not really into the ladies, but every now and then, one catches my attention. I thought that the way it was very sensual, without being overtly sexual,
Yeah.
which I thought was very interesting. And the way she explained that pole dancers, they dress the way they dress, they wear bikinis and things like that, because you need your skin actually to contact the pole to do
Yes.
these moves.
The friction. You need
Yeah,
the
I
friction.
do. Have you
We
guys
all
ever
need a
tried
little
those like
friction.
strip
I
teasing?
have.
I have too.
Have you?
I'm not a stripper. I
Do
I
tell,
swear.
ladies.
It's hard because you need that upper body strength to get up, and you really do need your skin to
And that's
grip
the number
the
one thing
pole.
for me.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Pun intended.
Okay.
It requires an amazing amount of strength, and that's
Of
something that I
course.
never had as a dancer. My upper body strength was never there, and my legs were always there. So I
Me
could
too.
climb up to the top of the pole and hold myself with my legs. My arms would give out. So
Yeah.
it
Same here.
requires an amazing amount of strength.
Yeah, agreed.
My legs are too hairy. I don't think I'd be a good pole dancer. And I could be at the top of the pole and the bottom at the same time.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
really
you're
tall.
so tall.
You are. You
Yeah.
are.
I don't
you
know
are.
about that.
Just to go back to the sensuality and the way that she was very sexy. One of the things I thought was interesting with her was that she was able to do that. Whereas, did you guys watch last season? Did everybody watch last season?
No.
There was a gal named Jordan who was very young. She was, I think, 18 years old, and she was incredibly sexy, like a little too sexy with her dancing. And so I thought this was an interesting counterpoint to that.
Yeah.
Somebody who could get the sexy and get the sensual without being, you know, raunchy or,
Right.
or
Right.
overt, you know. And I think it's a very fine line. Ileana also had an incredibly beautiful face and just beautiful expression.
hair
and
and- oh.
yeah, she was amazing. I really loved her.
And the
I
way
thought she was amazing.
her legs and the way she extended her toes, I mean,
Yeah.
they just went on. And she didn't seem like she was that tall necessarily.
Right.
Just her extensions were so phenomenal.
And
that I
because
just
of
couldn't.
her expertise, I think she's going to go really far
Oh,
in this
yeah.
competition. She has
Right,
so
'cause
much
and
experience.
diversity.
I feel like she could pick up any style.
Right.
Oh yeah.
If you can pole dance, I mean,
Right.
you
Well, and it's like what I think it was Lil C said last week, when talent and training come together, that's the perfect mix, and she's one of the people who has that sort of thing.
That is
I think.
interesting.
I agree with
Yeah.
that.
Can you like? I know this pole dancing thing is kind of caught on in recent years. Can you like buy a pole for your home?
Yes,
Like,
yes, you can.
Where could you buy it? Perhaps at Amazon.com. I don't know. Look at that transition. You like that? No, you guys.
so
Yeah,
clever.
we want to take a moment to thank Amazon. They've been really great for us. If you guys make purchases on Amazon like I do, if you want to maybe learn how to pole dance like Eliana, you can actually go to Amazon through our website, AfterBuzzTV.com. Then you'll see in the top right-hand corner there's a banner that says Amazon, and if you click on that and buy your purchases through us, we get a little kickback, and it helps us to do what we do. And we love what we do.
And it doesn't add anything to one's
Nope.
purchase at all.
Not
It's just
at
as a
all.
little extra thing that we get. I did
Yes.
it last week. I bought a
Yeah.
little exercise machine myself, not a pole.
Yeah.
And yeah, it helps us
Yeah.
out a little bit. Which
I bought
we,
P90X on Amazon
okay,
last week or 2 weeks
there
ago.
you go.
I bought shampoo.
I've used it
so
once.
That's
Shampoo?
my purchase. Yes.
You buy expensive shampoo
I
then.
do. You know that.
My shampoo costs
And it
$3.
shows, honey.
Oh.
It shows.
So if you guys could do that for us, that'd be great. We'd really
Thank
appreciate it.
you
Get
so
your
much
pole,
for
start
that.
practicing to be the next Eliana.
And there it is. There it is.
Moving on. So then after her performance, we had a whole bunch of just random performances, a bunch of short ones. They said yes to a lot of people.
They
in
really
a short
did.
amount of time.
I was
yeah.
surprised.
Yeah, I like it. But then again, we are in LA.
Yeah.
Dancers, I mean,
yeah.
dancers.
It's the land of talent.
There's so much talent, obviously, in the city.
Clearly.
So yeah, they had a bunch of yeses. There was a tap dancer that I really enjoyed.
Yes.
The bigger guy, he was kind of hairy and kind of overall, but he was kind of cool.
Surprising looking for
Yeah.
a tap dancer.
Yeah.
I thought, like, I first saw him, like, oh, you could drop 10, 20 pounds. Like, you look like you could trim your beard a little bit. I've looked that way a few times. I looked that way this morning when I woke up. I trimmed just for you guys. But no, I thought he was interesting.
We appreciate that.
Yeah. And I know that Nigel loves the tap dancers.
Of course he does.
He's always pulling for a tap.
Yeah.
So,
Me too, because
yeah.
I tap dance.
That's
so
right.
I always favored the tap dancers.
That's right. And you
So
said you were a
did I.
dancer also. What
I
styles
was.
did you do?
Jazz, ballet, adagio, and you know what? My #1 thing growing up was cheerleading. So
Really?
I was a cheerleader.
You're well-rounded. I have I have no idea what adagio is.
Okay, I was a swimmer, all right? So
I was a
there.
swimmer as well. We're not getting off topic at
Okay.
all. So then moving on. This is
Okay.
probably my highlight of the night.
Was it really?
Oh my God, I laughed, and it was like 20 minutes of the show.
Oh my gosh, I know.
We have Nick and James, twin brothers. They go. They're known as the Ninja Twins
The Ninja
because they
Twins.
took the NI from Nick and the
Ja
JA
from
from James and the N from Nick and James. Apparently, I don't know. They're 32 years old. So unfortunately, they're too old for
Ineligible.
ineligible for the show. But these guys were a riot.
They were a stinking riot.
Oh
they,
my
they
goodness.
killed me. They were
Yeah.
hysterical. When they were talking about my favorite moment, I'm probably gonna crush yours, but anyway, my favorite moment was when they said, we were football players and baseball players,
Yes.
right? And we were good. No, we were good. It was literally like they were split in half.
Yes.
One of them would say the beginning of the sentence, the other one would say the end, and then they said we had to choose. Dad said you have to pick one or the other, and we picked dance. Like perfectly synchronized. Could not have been done better if they'd practiced it a million times.
It feels like a comedy routine they've been doing forever, and they kind of have. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
brothers,
sure.
and
Yeah.
they share a bedroom.
Right.
They live here in Hollywood.
Right.
But they just cracked me up. Like when they said our
You'll dance!
our dad wanted us to do, and we were good, and they had such attitude. They were so hilarious. I love when the one says they're like, we live as A-list celebrities on a B-list budget. And I'm like, don't we all?
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
All in on a
I
budget.
appreciate them. What did you
Yeah.
guys think?
Well, I thought it was funny because I loved their personalities, and
Yeah.
if you really
Yeah, I
look
did
at the
too.
clip, it was like 10 minutes of them talking and then like 30 seconds of them dancing,
Dancing.
and then that was
Right.
it. And I was like, okay, well, we obviously know why you were on the show, so they were really entertaining.
Right.
And sometimes personality can get you really far in a competition. Even if you don't have the dancing chops, if you have stage performance and you have that aura about you, people will fall in love with you. And I fell in love with these two.
Yeah.
I really did. Too
Yeah.
bad they're too old
I know,
for the
right?
competition.
We talked about this last episode,
Yeah.
Kyra and I did. Benji, season 1, wasn't the best dancer. He just wasn't. I loved him, though, and America loved him. He was so charming. Granted, he had skills. I mean, he was a great dancer, but he wasn't the best all-around dancer. But that's not what the show's about.
That's right.
But
Well,
you have to be
because-
under 30
Yeah,
or
and-
30 or younger.
Yeah, and charisma. You
Yeah.
know, that's really a lot of it. It's charisma and charm,
Yeah.
and and I think that comes from really kind of knowing who you are and just being able to get a little bit cliche, shine your light in the world. But it translates, and people relate to that. So
I love how they
good for
practice
them.
their choreography in their apartment, in their living room. They move the furniture to the sides, and they literally said, we just do our thing, inspiration fall from the sky. I'm like, okay.
They were hysterical.
They were so funny.
They were
and
really entertaining.
I loved that they were so grateful for the opportunity. They said, look, this is our dream. They're like, we owe, but we ain't dead. But at the same time, though, they were grateful for the opportunity, and I think that says a lot.
Well, and you know what I was thinking was clearly ineligible from the minute they walked in the door. How did they get? Who did they charm? You know, how did they? Because they got on stage, and not only did they get on stage, they got on TV. So clearly, they charm people everywhere they go.
And they ate at my favorite restaurant and bar in all of LA. The one that works there, the Village Idiot. Little shout out to Village Idiot. They have the best Brussels sprouts with cured bacon you will have in your life, unless you come to my house on Thanksgiving where I
go in there tonight for dinner.
So these guys were great. I loved them. I wouldn't mind seeing them do a little cameo or something throughout the season.
Yeah, that'd be
because they've
cute.
got the personality to carry it, and they weren't terrible dancers. I mean, they weren't fantastic, but they were.
They were fine. They were fine.
I love how they called them a couple though. You're one of the best couples we've seen. I think Nigel said that, and they're just like, I'm like, didn't even phase them. Didn't even phase them. Oh, so next we move on to Sam. Oh, Sam Lenars. This is where I'm known for my tears when I watch these shows. You know this. You host a couple of shows with me. I don't cry. I bawl. I bawled during her story.
I love you.
My Lord. I'm a sucker for this sort of stuff.
Me too.
I watched it 2 or 3 times. She's 18 years old, and her mom kicked her out of the house 6 months ago.
Came home, and her stuff was packed up, and mom said, "You're out."
Yeah, who does that? And she's a beautiful girl, and she's so talented, and she seems very intelligent and well-rounded.
And grounded.
Yes, well-rounded and grounded.
And grounded.
But I mean, how does that? I don't understand how that happens.
Oh,
I don't have
so
I don't
bad
have a
for
mom
her.
like that, and I can't imagine.
Yeah.
But luckily, she had a best friend.
Thank God.
Yeah, and now she's staying with her. She says she has chores. She has her own bedroom. Kudos to that mother and their family for opening their home to her.
So did you see when Sam gets on stage, and I don't remember if it was during her dance or just before she started, the mom, you know, her sort of adopted mom now, is screaming from the audience, and she says, "We love you, Sam." And I thought, well, you know, she's got a mom now, you know, so she has a mom. And here I'm like tearing up right now talking about it.
Me too.
But I have to say, she was my favorite dancer of the entire show.
Stunning.
She blew me away. And I was so surprised they sent her to choreography, because I was like, what? What do you mean they're sending her to choreography?
She's unreal. That's what I thought.
She absolutely blew me away, and she is my favorite so far of the show.
Do you ever wonder, though, if we look at this objectively, because like when you see her backstory, and then you see her like being interviewed by Kat, and Kat didn't even get to the questions. She just started, and Kat, this is why I love Kat Deely so much. She's phenomenal in these moments. She knows how to read these contestants like a book.
Yeah.
Oh honey, she puts her hand on her knee. She's like, honey, what's wrong? Oh, I didn't even ask you anything yet. And she's trying so, and that's what gets me, because that's how I cry. I try to fight it, and I try to hold it in, because I hate crying.
Such a cute baller.
I am a cute. Maybe, but I try to hold it in too, and I could tell she was struggling with something.
Yeah.
And then Kat just reached out to her, and oh my Lord.
But like you say, I think it definitely colors our impression of her dance as well as our impression of her. But she
was a talent, though.
She was amazing.
Yeah, and I really liked how at the end, or through the whole dance, you could really see her emotion and sadness coming through. I don't know. I kind of liked that.
Every moment of it.
And but it wasn't like depressing. It was just like beautiful.
And she has pride, because when the judges asked her point blank, what are you upset about? She didn't even tell them. And she kept that in, and I kind of like that. She didn't try to use it as a way to get further in the show.
Or to get back at her mom.
Exactly.
And I wonder how that mom is feeling right now. Did she see her daughter on TV?
Of course
she
did.
out
now
there
they all
saying,
came out of
wow,
the
I really
woodworks.
messed up. I really need to talk to my daughter. I wonder if that's going to happen during the season, which might be
they'll let us
something
know.
later
Something
that I think is
happened.
going to happen.
Kira and I also cover America's Got Talent together, and there's a similar story on that show with Turf. He's a street dancer, and his mom also did the same thing. I said this to Turf's mom. I'll say it to Sam's mom. I just want to give you a hug. That's all it takes sometimes, is a hug. You know, because you get so lost in like the emotions of whatever it was that caused her to kick her daughter out of her home at 18, which is insane. Sometimes you just need to step away from it. Maybe she could view her daughter from afar, and now see her on the show and see how stunning she is, how talented she is.
Yeah, and a lot of times, really, sort of one of the lessons in life for me is practicing compassion, and people can be really frustrating, and especially family, especially family, and when it gets really rough like that, you got to try and be compassionate.
Trust me, I know, not to be a little sob story, real quick one, but I mean, I grew up gay in Ohio. and in a small Catholic community. You know, I understand compassion because my family, they struggle, but they came around, and they are the most phenomenal people on the planet now. It can happen. People can change.
Yes.
You know, whatever your differences are, you can get past them.
Yes,
I can't talk about her anymore. I'm just too emotional.
Okay.
I'm going to start crying. I'm going to start bawling.
No crying on AfterBuzz.
Yeah, fantastic. So now we move on to, this guy's kind of cool. Kaylee Carr?
Kaylee Carr.
Yeah, Kaylee, whatever.
Kaylee Carr.
He had a mustache, and he's from Huntington Beach. So initially, I just assumed he was going to be a douchebag. Completely.
Right.
Am I allowed to say that?
Was so big, you
Yeah.
guys.
The
It was like
handlebar, not just a mustache, a handlebar mustache
Yeah.
that he waxed the ends of.
But
Yeah.
he's a tap dancing surfer.
AJ,
Right.
we actually have a vendor coming
Fantastic.
on.
Hello.
Hey,
Please give them
how
a
are you?
Yes.
AJ, nice. Oh, you got so much in your hand right now.
Wait.
Look at it.
We got a hand
Here
up
we
things
go.
here.
How you doing, buddy?
Hi.
AJ.
Hi, Tamara.
Kira, nice to meet you. Hi.
Pop on your headset so you can hear what
There you
we're all saying and doing. There you go.
So we don't just look crazy to you. How are you today?
Oh, your voices.
Yeah, we do. Oh, your voice. Where are you from? Where are you from?
I'm from LA.
LA.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ohio, but I live in LA.
All right.
That first initials had a little British undertone to it.
Oh, negative.
No? No time in the UK?
It's a Los Angeles accent.
So what have you got here for us? What are we doing here in the gifting suite
So
today?
what we give away in this gifting suite are oral sprays,
Oh, all
which
right.
are basically vitamins that you spray in your mouth.
Can I grab one?
Of course. So, millions of Americans take vitamins, and
Oh, right. Okay.
there are actually 100 million people in the U.S. alone that can't swallow pills.
Really?
Or have difficulty swallowing pills.
Wow.
A third
100
of
million.
Americans.
Yeah.
Wow.
40%.
I am
Wow.
one.
That's
I
a
am one of
lot.
those people. I
I am
cannot
too.
swallow pills.
There you go.
Really?
Good.
No, it
So
scares
2
me
out of
to death.
5, us 2 can't.
That's
That's America right there.
Is that how you got involved? Because you had the same issue?
Actually, I did my entire life. I couldn't swallow pills, but how we started in this is my dad's in the weight loss business.
Oh, okay.
And he started with the Slim Spray
Slim
product.
Spray.
Oh, okay.
And it worked very well with his patients. And then in combination, we decided this is an awesome delivery mechanism.
I get it. They're all different.
To be
I
able to
I assume they're
spray-
different flavors. They're all different,
Oh,
actually.
no. Well, they are different flavors, but
Okay.
they're different purposes.
Different.
So this one's vitamin C. It
You
has
always
zinc,
need your vitamin C,
echinacea, vitamin D. It actually has 250% for women of the
Great.
daily allotment of D.
Oh, that's super
Wow.
important.
It
Yeah.
is.
That's super
What
important.
about a
for
guy
women's
who's
I like
strength.
6'5"?
vitamin D.
Probably a little bit
6'5", you
smaller
should do-
percentage.
The average sprays is 9 for
Okay.
one serving. You should do probably 12
Okay. I'm a big boy.
because of your masculinity.
Right,
Yes.
Clearly, as I drop my voice deeper
We
and
also
deeper.
came out recently. My wife and I just had a child, and we have a 16-month-old.
Congratulations.
Thank you, appreciate it. And we came out with a kids spray,
That
and
is
this
so
has
cool.
like 24 real fruits and vegetables in it.
Oh,
Ones
I
that
love
kids
that.
would never eat, like cauliflower.
No
and-
kidding.
Oh, yeah.
But it
I
tastes
still
like
don't
fruit
eat that.
punch.
Well, it's probably fun for
Awesome.
kids, too.
It is fun.
It's something
and
different.
It's exactly right. It's like
Come
a
here.
fun
I'm going to
activity.
spray you in the mouth.
That's cool. I
And
like
then we
that.
have one for sleep, and we have one for energy.
I like the sleep one.
Oh, can
Yeah.
I please have like 5 of the sleep
Yeah.
ones?
It's so funny. We just came out with the sleep spray, and last month we were in New York pitching to a bunch of magazines, and everyone was in their 30s. The number one problem they had was sleep. You just think it would be older people, but younger
Oh,
people
no.
can't sleep. So this has valerian root, melatonin,
And melatonin, two of my
GABA.
favorite things in the world.
Yeah.
Melatonin and valerian.
Well, I feel like in your 20s and 30s, you're struggling, you're trying to figure out your career and get everything, and you're working so hard
That's
to make
true.
a name for yourself,
That's
and that
true.
probably makes sense. I don't sleep very well.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of
trust
stress.
me,
Now,
you're not
your-
alone.
I'm gonna
Your
use
company
this.
is called Mars Spray.
Right, and that's our name, my family's name, our last name. Is
I like
Mars.
that.
So my
So-
dad is the founder of the company, and he invented, like I said, the Slim Spray. We have patents on all the formulas,
That
and
is
we're
so
trying
cool.
to kind of bring them to market now.
So if people at home, can you
exciting.
buy this off your website?
Yeah, marssprays.com.
Okay,
is
and that's
the website.
MARZ.
MARZ.
SPRAYS.com.
Exactly,
That's fantastic.
marssprays.com.
That is so cool.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
This is
nice.
so cool.
Not mad at it. So let's do a little photo op real quick. All right,
Okay.
fantastic.
All
Well,
right,
thank you
great.
so much for
Thank
stopping
Thank
by.
you. Thanks for
Enjoy the
stopping
rest of your day.
by. Pop those over there. Have a
That is so
successful
cool.
show.
I like that.
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you. I'm gonna use the sleep one. I really am going to use the sleep
I'm
one.
going to go get one later.
I'm going to use it tonight. Send it over here to the side.
So the tap surfer, Kaylee Carr, let's finish up with him.
Oh,
with
absolutely.
His crazy mustache.
He's a tap dancing surfer from Huntington Beach. That's interesting.
I thought
I-
I thought he knew how to live the life. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
what a smart
he's like,
man.
they're like, what do you do? He's like, you know, I dance and I'm a barback. Bleh. I'm like, I was like, you're kind of a tool. But then when he actually I feel like it's kind of a defense mechanism. You know what I mean? Like people that are like that, they're not really like that. I crack a lot of jokes sometimes. Because I'm so insecure and unsure of myself. No, but I think that a lot of times people, they act that way for a reason.
Right. A self-preservation
yes.
type of thing.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. You're afraid of failure, so you want to like put yourself down before somebody else can.
Yeah.
But he went out there and he nailed it.
Oh, he was so
good. And I love tap.
Oh, good.
You know, and I think
we've established that.
Yeah,
I
do love
that
it.
we
do
love tap.
I
love tap too.
Yeah.
I actually, I'm not even going to say it out loud. I just love tap. That's all I'm going to say.
Now you have to say it out
No,
loud.
now you have to say it.
I took some classes, but I sucked, so I stopped. So, you know.
It's very hard.
I'm really
it's one
not
of
a
the things
dancer.
that I did not do.
I do have tap
Yeah.
shoes still, though.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'm going to work on my juggling and my tap dancing acts very soon.
Oh, don't even.
Awesome. Then
Don't
you
even
can
get
go
me
on
started on
America's Got
juggling.
Talent and talk about it.
Anyway, Kaylee got cut in choreography.
Yes.
Wow, that was quite an alliterative sentence.
Yeah. That breaks my heart.
Well, you know, I have to say, I thought he was really an interesting tap dancer, but I felt like he was maybe a little out of control. He was not quite. He was a little, not all over the place, but he could have used maybe a little more structure within.
Yeah. I feel like
that was my thought.
I feel like he would take a lot of classes. Like if he took some actual classes in the next year and came back, you know, for season 10, I feel like that would really benefit him.
So, Kaylee, we encourage you to come back.
But I feel like he is one of those characters though that I feel like really will stand out this season. I think people will remember him. He was definitely a standout character for this episode for me.
Yeah.
I think
it was a mustache though, not the personality.
Yeah. I personally think that he should have gone through. I know he was a little bit crazy, but I've seen some crazy characters go through in years past. I personally wish he would have gone through, and I think that it would have been interesting to see him immersed in such a if nothing else than to just really open his eyes up to the world of dance in Vegas.
Well, yeah, I think that I agree with you, but here's what I'm going to say. Probably there was somebody who was a better tap dancer than he, and that's so he had the great personality but couldn't really back it up with the tap.
Right.
And so there's someone else who was a better tap dancer, and there's still a lot of people in the field going to Vegas. I mean, just from New York there were like 48 or something like that. A lot of people in the field. So
I'm kind of curious to see what people at home think.
About
this guy. What do they think about it? Do they think he should have gone through? Do they think, you know, do they think that there should be more tap dancers on the show, or there not enough tap dancers on the show?
I want to hear that.
They should tweet us at AfterBuzz TV.
And how else could they get a hold of us, Caitlin? What else could they do?
They could also go to iTunes because that's one of our sponsors, and you go to iTunes, you rate and comment our show.
Please
tell a friend, and it only takes a minute, so please.
It really does only take a minute. And guys, by going on to iTunes, and you can get these episodes for free. You can register for the entire season, so you get to hear us every single week. And again, that keeps us doing what we're doing.
Also, if you have a favorite host, you can look, search for AJ, for example, and find all the shows that he's ever done
Tamara.
for AfterBuzz. And so it's a really neat way to kind of catch up with your personalities. That you like. So please do rate and comment. We read the comments
absolutely.
and get some interesting information from
and
that.
And we do
so
get back to you. And by doing that, you let us know what type of show that you want.
And speaking of which, holla Adrienne, I promised I would give a shout out, so there.
Don't you have somebody that you
Oh my God, he's my friend too.
I know, Adrienne's a big friend of AfterBuzz.
Who is this Adrienne person?
Don't worry about it.
Because she gives shout outs all the time on America's Got Talent.
Adrienne is our boyfriend, and you just need to back off, okay?
Yeah.
So
I want a boyfriend. I want to meet Adrienne.
You probably can be Adrienne's boyfriend.
Before we move on, I've got one. I'm known for this. Kira knows this about me. I'm the guy who has one story for everything on Earth.
Okay.
Here's my Adrienne story.
Okay.
My entire life, when I've introduced myself to people, I tend to speak very quickly, and I mumble, and people think that when I say, they're like, hey, what's your name? I'm like, AJ. They're like, oh, Adrienne, that's such a cool name. Every time. Literally, it's happened to me thousands of times. And I'm like, it's actually AJ, and the response is always this.
Oh.
Well, I mean, that's cool, too.
That's very interesting.
I've had a complex about the name Adrienne my entire life. So now you guys are giving shout-outs to this Adrienne
You're
character.
really going to have a complex now because Adrienne's our boyfriend.
Somebody that they love and I can't know about.
No, you can't.
I'm going to look him up. I'm going to get on Facebook and find this Adrienne.
Hi, Adrienne.
Hi, Adrienne. How you doing?
I was chatting him on the chat roll last night.
Yeah?
Okay, let's move on to Megan.
Oh, Megan Branch. Adorable. Another 18-year-old. A lot of young ones. What do you think?
Instantly got a ticket to Vegas, and here was my thought. I only wrote one word for her. Oh, no, two. I thought she was pretty, but I thought she was disconnected. She felt to me kind of the opposite of Sam. Sam's so connected to her emotions, so expressive, and I felt like Megan was just not as connected with her emotions and not really conveying that. That was my thought.
You sometimes get that way when you have too much training, or you if you're too into yourself and how you're doing, just like in the movie with Natalie Portman, Black Swan.
Yes.
She's too into herself, and Mila Kunis is the opposite. So I'd like to see how this plays out because they're both going to be there.
Right.
Which one will open up? Which one will cave in? I don't know.
Really, I think a really good insight. Yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting that you say that too. They called her a little firecracker, and she definitely had that spunk.
She was so spunky.
Part of her story was that her mom works. She's picked up extra jobs over the years to help pay for her dance career because dancing is expensive.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And
especially in Los Angeles.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, forget it.
Absolutely. And if you notice, touching on what you said, if you notice when she got her ticket to Vegas and ran outside, her mom just kind of stood there. And then she just kind of like gave her a hug, like she was excited for her, but her mom showed no emotion. And the girls all excited, the mom's kind of like, and not the reaction you would expect from a mother who's sacrificed all these years. So maybe the daughter's sort of that way as well. Maybe they're both really not good at like expressing their emotions.
Well, then this is going to be a great opportunity, right? For them, for her to
break out of her shell.
Because those are the kind of comments that judges give you. That's what choreographers give you. They really, kind of push that.
And I'm just going to speculate here, but there was no man. I didn't see a dad, I didn't see a husband. So maybe these women are very self-sufficient and then, looking out for themselves and each other. And who knows? It's all speculation. But I'm trying to build a backstory so I could like this girl, so I can latch on to this
she's
Megan
very,
Branch.
very pretty. So that's all I had to say. I was like, oh my God, she's so pretty. I had to like pause it, and I was like, how can I look like her? She's so pretty.
You don't need to look like
you
anybody
look
other than
beautiful
yourself.
like you.
Stop.
I
love my co-host.
So she definitely went straight on to Vegas.
Yes.
Then we move into Cole. I don't even know how to say his last name.
Horibe, I think.
Yeah. I wanted to say like Horrible or something.
Yeah, I know. Right?
He was not Horrible.
He was definitely not Horrible. Nope. He was a martial arts dancer.
That was so cool.
26 years old. Got that maturity factor, that confidence. They compared him to like a Bruce Lee, like Nigel Lithgow said he grew up watching a lot of Bruce Lee films. And I was a little curious to see like, it's cool. But then when I actually saw him performing, because he did his like stand-ups outside and did the thing where he like did like the kicks and the punches and stuff around.
Right.
That was cool. It was neat.
That was fun.
But then I wasn't sure what I think about him. But when he performed, oh my God,
mind-blowing. Yeah.
Fantastic.
He was clearly a dancer who does martial arts, as opposed to a martial artist who dabbles in dancing. There was no question that he was a dancer. And that was one of the things I think Nigel mentioned was, I was expecting for us to be getting, some kind of crazy martial arts with a little dance mixed in. And he was definitely a dancer, and he blew me away. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I thought the same thing as you guys. At first, I was like, oh, this is just going to be whatever, mediocre. When I saw him dance, and especially the control that he has as a dancer, like you said, he's a dancer that has a background in martial arts. I loved him. He's actually one of my favorites on the show. And what I like about the show, too, is that they're really raising the ante. It's not just like modern, jazz, tap.
Exactly.
They are able to be so innovative. And then we'll talk about another contestant in a second that's coming up. Just how innovative they are with dance. And that's what makes the show so fun to watch. And that's why it's 9 seasons in. It's not, the same jazz and tap routine for 9 seasons.
Right.
And in martial arts, I know this because I have dated a martial artist who's in the Hall of Fame for it. So I know.
Wow.
And it's all about the energy. So in dance and martial arts, it's all about your energy and tapping into your anger. If you can tap into your anger, you can convey any emotion on stage, and it makes your stage performance that much better.
Well,
so I
powerful,
really admire the power.
But the thing is, he was powerful and he was quick and precise and strong. But he his little movements with his hands, the way his hands, his fingers would just. I'm like, how is he aware of all of those?
And that's something you can't really teach. That is a skill, or it's not.
You know what I was thinking? This is so funny. When I was watching him, all I kept thinking was, I used to play this game when I was younger called Street Fighter, and they were like these crazy characters, a lot of ninja type stuff, like Mortal Kombat, those types of games. And I was like, he could be one of those characters because he's good looking, he's ripped, he's built like them. And now it makes me want to go back and play Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. But you know how I can do that?
I do.
I can log on to gamefly.com/AfterBuzzTV. And basically what GameFly is for those of you who, like me, love to game. I know you're a gamer, who like to game, but you don't want to spend $60 to $70 on these games. They're expensive.
Not knowing if you like them.
Exactly. So it's essentially it's like a Netflix for gamers. You get a free 15-day trial if you go on to gamefly.com/AfterBuzzTV, and you get a 15-day free trial on us, which is fantastic, and it helps us out, makes us look good, and you can play a lot of Mortal Kombat and a lot of Street Fighter. You could be cool. Horibe.
Exactly.
So if you guys would do that, we'd really appreciate it. It would really help us out. Please and thank you. Moving on to David Matz. I just wrote down absolutely mesmerizing. He did it's called a sear ring.
Cool.
A sear ring? Or
I
is
don't
it
remember.
I don't know how it's
I'll
pronounced.
go with
It's a big metal ring. Yeah. What do we think?
It was hypnotic and gorgeous, and his control was amazing.
Can you imagine his core, his abs?
And but I mean, just like he'd flick that little ring off, and he could anticipate every single turn.
Everything.
That and walk under. It was incredible.
From the moment the routine started, he let it. It was kind of like going around, like like if you like spin like a quarter, and it slowly starts to like wobble down.
Yeah.
And he just stepped right into it and just.
I mean, it was like it was a being, a live being. The way he was treating that thing, it was absolutely incredible.
I've seen something like that at a Cirque du Soleil performance once.
Too.
I've seen a lot of different shows. I can't remember which one it was. But what always scares me is I'm like, what about his fingers?
Your fingers,
if
I know.
His fingers get around the ring,
time.
you can break your fingers.
You can cut
so
them
easily.
off.
Yes. And he doesn't. I don't know how. And he goes in and out of it. He'll have two hands on it. One hand, his legs will be flying. At one point, he actually was doing something low, and then somehow got the ring moving higher and higher, and pushed himself up over and was spinning.
Yeah, up above.
How does that happen?
It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I know they sent him on to choreography. After that, I don't think he made it through.
He did not. And my big question was, can he dance? And he can't. He thought he could dance.
He's 27. Maybe he could come back. Is this somebody? Would you like to see more of him?
I would.
Yeah?
I would, yeah.
I would, and maybe even not, okay, if his choreography isn't good or his dancing isn't good, maybe not for the show, but maybe another,
maybe
on
America's
Got
Got
Talent.
Look at this cross-promotion between the two of us. We do that show together as well.
I just keep it on my brain. I can't stop thinking about it. He would be great on America's Got Talent.
He would be.
He would be.
Yeah. Because he can do some other stuff, too. Like, they showed his clip.
He lives in an art lounge or something. I forgot. That is the coolest place to live.
They live in an art loft, with a couple other people, and they have literally unicycles hanging on the walls and clown costumes, all kinds of stuff.
It's like a fun house.
Yeah.
I see reality show for him. He's already been on TV. Somebody out there has an interest. I do. If I were making a reality show, I would put him on it. I want to see him do all the unicycle. I want to see him do his act he did here on the show.
Yes.
And I want to see him naked. But let's move on.
I do. Yeah. Oh, well, there you have it. The real story.
There's a little endorsement.
That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Isn't that how everyone gets a reality show nowadays, anyways? Some sort of nudity. I'll leave it there. I won't go any further.
Kim Kardashian.
Okay, Caitlin.
So then we move on to. Do we have? Is it Steven Jacobson next?
Steven Jacobson. Yes.
22 years old. This guy. He's from my home state. He's from Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
And he looked like a dancer when he went out there.
Yep.
His hair is kind of crazy. His facial expressions, I wrote down ridiculous faces, crazy, and creepy. I was scared at first. Yeah. It was weird.
Well, and
and trying too hard, maybe?
Right.
Trying too hard.
It's the insecurity thing again. He felt like he had to do too much.
Right. And he proclaimed himself that he threw his audition together. And it was ridiculous. Yeah. And Nigel literally said, "This is terrible." They were just going on and on about how awful he was.
Yeah. Well, if you have an opportunity like this, anyone out there, if you guys are watching and listening, if you have an opportunity to make it on one of these reality shows, and this is your chance in life, take the time to prepare. It's so silly to me that he's been dancing for how many years, he said? Since he was like 5 or something?
Yeah.
You've been dancing for now 17 years, and it didn't just pop into his head. The show's been on for 9 seasons.
Yeah. Right.
Prepare.
And
work with a choreographer, something.
And he's got routines in his bag because he's been
doing
dancing
this
for that long,
yes.
right? Of course, you've always got a routine ready to go, right?
Yeah,
Don't you, Caitlin?
Definitely.
Don't you, Caitlin?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
I've got backup routines ready, and I'm not even a dancer.
Every actor's got a monologue ready. You've got it
that's
ready.
right.
And so the thing is that he was incredibly lucky that they didn't just go, "Beat it, kid." That they recognized that he had, some skill. He had a look. And basically then they said, "Show us anything that you can do." And then he
nailed it.
Blew everybody away.
And I love that you said he's lucky, because he really is lucky.
Yeah.
I generally don't believe in luck. I'm one of those types of people that I believe in preparation meets opportunity.
I believe in luck.
But sometimes there is luck. I think though that Nigel, God love him. Oh, there you go.
It's my lucky penny.
Oh, I like that. Oh, she does believe in luck, as a matter of fact.
As a matter of fact.
But I feel like Nigel saw something in him.
Yes.
And that doesn't happen a lot in this city. I mean, we all know that. You mess up the first time, you're done.
Bye-bye.
There goes your chance. And his second routine, though, was phenomenal.
Unbelievable. When he was, what is that move where they're doing the leaps that kind of basically go in
the
a big
grand
circle?
jetés. Yeah, I learned that last week actually.
Grand jetés.
Around the entire stage.
Yes.
I
Everything
practically burst into tears when I saw him do that because it was so spectacular.
Strong and powerful. And it was so, I loved seeing him just like let go of like that insecurity and just
and the silliness,
dance. Yes, because that's what they always say on the show. Dance comes from within.
Yeah,
it's not about some horribly choreographed routine that you threw together in 10 minutes.
Some pirate crap or whatever that thing was.
I don't know if I believed him when he said that. Maybe he really might have messed up or didn't take the time to really make his performance on stage there. Maybe he got too nervous and he had to say something like he threw it together. Sometimes that happens.
Could be. Could be.
I don't know.
His second performance was so
phenomenal.
good.
The first one looked a little thrown together, though.
Yeah, it
Let's
did.
be honest. I feel like my sister did that routine when she was 5 years old, dancing for Jennifer's School of Dance in my hometown. I feel like it's
really hard to be on stage with that many people,
Yeah.
the judges, and the world watching you.
Right.
I don't even know if I could do it.
Right.
And I have a lot of training. I don't know.
Yeah, I do give them credit. Oh, you're
He
so
was
sweet.
he was absolutely fantastic though, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else he can do. He's a ballet dancer, so interesting to see how he can translate into other styles. But I'm looking forward to him. I think it's going to be really interesting.
So I'm going to let you lead us into our last.
Reading my notes.
Our last.
Oh, the brother and sister. Okay.
Oh,
so
get ready to ball. Get ready to ball. Yes,
I was thinking of you when I watched it. I was like,
Lord.
AJ's balling right now.
Jasmine and Marche, brother and sister dancers, been dancing their whole lives, and they 6 weeks ago had a car accident.
I love this story so much. I tried to talk about it at the beginning of our show. I mean,
it is. Yeah. So he and this was. Thank God they took us off the hook just a little bit, because we see a quick picture of him in the hospital before they're done telling the story, and somebody said he was dead on arrival at the hospital.
Yeah,
I know.
And before they got hit by the car, he turned to her and said, "You're going to be okay," and he took the full impact of this other car hitting them. So clearly an incredibly strong bond between them.
I know.
And so dear and so kind and so protective. And he was in a coma.
For 2
he
days
broke
he was in a
his
coma.
back.
Yeah.
He did audition last season, or she auditioned last season, I guess. One of them auditioned last season and did not make it. And show up here today. She does her audition. She's so pretty. Isn't she just, I mean, oh my gosh. Yeah, that was the one where, how can I look like her?
If she were on our panel right now, she'd be the 4th prettiest lady. She's that pretty. But a close 4th.
I could not look any more different than she, and I was sitting there going, what can I do to my hair to make it look like her? She's so
She's
gorgeous.
a looker. I love stories like this.
So she comes on and is spectacular. Would anyone comment on her dancing? Because the story's amazing, but the dancing was amazing too, right?
I felt inspired. That's all I can say.
Wow, that's a huge compliment. That
Clearly,
is a
you
huge
still
compliment.
feel inspired. Look, you get emotional. I love that about you.
Oh my gosh, it's just the car accident. That's one of my biggest fears. And for somebody that cares about you to shield you and shield your beautiful face, I mean, she could never repay him. She can never repay him.
And then he gets up and dances. No, I was just assuming he was going to be in the audience, right? He was going to be watching her. And to be honest, he looked like he'd been a little through something. He didn't, kind of his light wasn't all the way turned on, right? And he got up and he danced, and it was absolutely amazing, especially for somebody. I mean, for anybody, it was amazing. But a guy who'd been through what he had been through in the last 6 weeks.
I couldn't believe, because didn't he break his neck or hurt his neck? And it's like, how were you even able to
6 weeks later
dance or walk or do? And he was phenomenal.
If I sleep on my neck wrong, it takes me a solid 3 or 4 days just to go to the gym again.
I was at the chiropractor today just for that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So I think it's a fantastic way to wrap up the show. I mean, what an inspirational story.
They both got to go to Vegas. Really amazing.
Yeah.
Really amazing.
So do we have any news and gossip? I hear you have something.
I've got some news and gossip.
Here it is. Here it is. Get ready for it.
And some of this is juicy. And I tend, personally, in my life, to not gossip. But here it is right now. I'm gossiping.
Dish it out.
Okay. First, I just want to talk about the ratings for So You Think You Can Dance. The second week was up 8% from last week. And last week was top in the ratings. So they're gaining in the ratings. And the show only gets better from here. So it's pretty exciting. Kat Deely has 2 new jobs.
Yes. She's everywhere right now.
She is everywhere.
She's doing, is it The Choice?
Fashion Mob and The Choice.
The Choice, yeah.
The Choice is a dating show in Britain for men. And it's going to start airing next week, actually, for anybody who's in the UK.
They're actually doing A Choice in the United States as well this summer.
Is she going to be on the host?
The host is it Mario Lopez? Is that the show he's on? Well, I'll look into that. He's doing another show. It might be that one. But yeah, they're doing it here as well.
And then her other show is Fashion Mob, which premiered 2 nights ago, and I could find nothing about it. I didn't see it until today. I didn't hear about it until today, and then I didn't hear anything about it. So I hope it's good. I think it's a good concept for a show.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think she's the most phenomenal female host on television, period. She's fantastic, besides Maria Menounos. A completely different genre, of course. But she's phenomenal with those contestants. Because she's dealing with teenagers, dancers. They're very emotional, very like, I like that. A lot of different personalities. She knows how to handle them all.
She's so good. Well, she got Emmy nominated for this show last year. So she clearly, everybody thinks she's good. Okay, there's been a change in the format of So You Think You Can Dance for this year, and I'm so happy about this because I'm not going to be a regular on your AfterBuzz show because last season I just couldn't handle how much of a commitment it was.
I'm committed to you.
So many hours of the show. Well, I do other shows.
Hopefully you'll stop in and
I mean, I do other shows. I'm doing Glee Project next week. Watch me on Glee Project, and also doing Falling Skies, and I have a life.
I don't clearly.
But this season, the results and the performance shows are going to be packed into 1 2-hour show each week. So it's not 5 hours a week like it was last season, which about killed me.
Right.
So that's pretty exciting. And you guys probably already know this, but in case anybody didn't, there are going to be 2 winners, a male and a female winner this year, which I'm so happy to see. I mean, because there's such a big difference. You're not happy, huh?
I hate it.
Wow.
I despise it. Because I think the show, the show isn't about America's best dancer. It's about America's favorite dancer. And there's no reason to think that, well, a woman or a man can't be America's favorite dancer. Because there's some seasons where I love certain women. Some seasons I love certain men. And their styles are different. But I understand, like, it's almost like in sports, how women don't have the strength in ways that men do. So I get that. Men can be more powerful. But they have things that men could never dream of having in a different way. So depending on what style you like, I think that it's just weird to me because then it feels like, who won So You Think You Can Dance? I did, sort of. So did she. Or it doesn't feel.
So it's like a tie.
Yeah, I'm very competitive.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, I'm very competitive, and I would rather take second place than tie for first.
Wow.
Yeah,
I would rather
so
take second place so we both can win. I'm just like.
Oh God, no! I would not want to share it first with anyone.
Wow.
Okay, so people, if you're ever in a competition with him, watch out.
I know.
He's cutthroat.
So predictions for this season.
No, I have one more.
Oh, we have one.
Big gossip. I saved it for last.
Oh, the one that's in all the bold print right now.
Yeah, it's bold.
I didn't know we were going there. Here goes. Ready?
This is the gossip that I normally wouldn't talk about. Mary Murphy is being sued for $1 million by her ex-manager, Steve Sanchez, and this is not me saying this.
Allegedly.
No, it's not alleged. It is in the court papers.
So it's in a deposition.
Well, he alleges.
Oh my goodness.
Her ex-manager alleges.
Yes.
Michael Sanchez, who represented her from 2006 to 2010, is suing her for breach of oral contracts and, whatever, oral contracts. He calls her a desperate cocaine-fueled nymphomaniac. He claims that she demanded producers put alcohol disguised in a Coke cup to drink during studio tapings.
All right.
He said that she secretly coached dancers on the show.
Now there's where the bad stuff comes in. The alcohol.
Yeah, drugs and alcohol, whatever.
Well, and that's a violation. That's a violation of the rules of the show.
Absolutely.
And it's against game fixing laws.
Yeah, it is.
So this is a very, very big deal. It's a very big deal. And of course, she and her people say that it's all lies.
Right.
It's all ridiculous.
Completely fabricated.
Libelous remarks and allegations are what her lawyers say. So but this is going to be a big deal. And of course, they timed the filing of the papers for the season premiere of the show. Really big scandal. So hopefully Mary Murphy will make that through okay.
You know what? Hopefully it affects the ratings in a positive way.
I mean, is an utter moron.
There it is. There it is.
So now let's move on to predictions.
Yeah.
Shall we?
So how do we think now? Fantastic. What do we think? Will this have an impact on the show this season? Do you think that because once these shows go live, like she's still a judge on the show, and these contestants are all going to hear these stories. Like, how do you think will it have any impact on the season?
I don't think it will be overtly discussed on the show, but I think it will absolutely have an impact on Mary herself.
Oh, how could it not?
I do. How could it not? Exactly. That's sort of a safe prediction.
And if she's gonna switch from vodka to like tequila.
Okay.
In her cup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I think it will also just have an effect on her. Now it all makes sense. So that's why she's always like so crazy and like woo. So yeah, I think the same thing. I think it's gonna take a toll on her.
She's an energetic woman.
Yeah.
you might see a change in her. She might come very dressed up, makeup done, hair, because everybody's going to be watching her. So I want to see the change in her physically and emotionally on the show.
Let's not forget, though, on a different show, Paula Abdul went through these same
allegations,
same sorts of things a few years ago on American Idol, and she still kind of came out smelling like roses. She's still got a career. She's still doing her thing. She booked more jobs beyond that. If she were that bad on American Idol, I don't think Simon Cowell would have brought her on to X Factor Season 1. So
that's right.
I'm one of those. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Me too.
And even if she is snorting coke and drinking vodka out of a mug, I don't hate her. That's not why I tune into the show. I tune in because she's an expert.
That's right.
And because she's crazy. And I dream of one day being on the hot tamale train. So, to be honest.
She's fun to watch. I mean, let's face it, she's fun to watch.
She is.
I mean, I wish her the best, and I hope that she gets through this relatively unscathed.
Well, that's it, you guys.
Yeah, I'm just still gonna say Sam, my favorite dancer of this week.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna have to go with what's his name? The Cole.
I agree.
Yeah.
Cole.
The martial
Alexa, the first dancer.
Alexa.
There you have it. It's a split panel, people. We want to thank you guys for stopping by again. We're here live at the Kari Feinstein Style Lounge.
What is your Twitter handle,
my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, please. You can find me at _AJ Gibson.
I am at Tamara Berg.
I'm at Kyra Batte.
And I'm at Caitlin_O'Connor.
We really appreciate you guys. Thanks for stopping by. See you next week.
See you next time.
Bye.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The host only do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.